All right, welcome back to Scouching's Prospect Pipeline series for the NHL teams, and today we're looking at the Winnipeg Jets. I like to think of the Winnipeg Jets in the draft as a bit of a discount Carolina. They don't draft as much as Carolina, but boy, especially in the last few years, have they ever found some really interesting players throughout the entire draft. And leading things off, there is a player in the core category for them. Alphonse Frey. He didn't make the World Junior team for Sweden. That doesn't mean he's bad. I went and watched him this summer just before making this series, and on his team at the second division level, he was really good. He didn't score a ton, but that's not always really necessarily his style of play. I think that can be explored a lot more, but the skating ability, the stick checking ability, the defensive spacing has really come a ways, and I really like that in his game nowadays. This is a guy I had well into my first round last season, and I thought he had a better season than just 8 points in 29 games would indicate. I think you see a little bit more of that at the under 20 level when you go and watch him there. He just looks ridiculous down there. So I'm hoping for a bigger season from him this year, more of a responsibility while keeping up those great possession results he had. There's also a few guys in the depth category here, which for a team that has been as successful as Winnipeg is a testament to their scouting staff. I love Brad Lambert so much, and I still believe that there is a good NHL player here, but based on the season he just had, I don't think it's his fault, but the depth category seems a little bit more suitable for him. He might not be that top 6 guy that I hoped he would be, but I will give him time to regain that confidence, but I still just think there's an NHL player here, and I still just think that if Brad Lambert were drafted by, say, Nashville or Montreal or Anaheim or something, he would be getting longer stretches in the NHL, and when I have seen him in the NHL, he's looked pretty darn good. So it just seems to be a matter of a logjam in front of him. Winnipeg should have some jobs opening up relatively soon, so hopefully he can grab one and show what he can do at that level, but I just had to downgrade him based on a few different things going on, but I don't think his season last season was as bad as some people are reacting. You've also got Braden Yeager in here with Elias Salamonson, two guys who just had really rock-solid seasons. I'm a little bit of a skeptic on Braden Yeager, but I do think a smart, capable, 200-foot okay center in the NHL is somewhere there. Now, to me, that's a depth category player. Night in, night out, you put him out there and he's smart enough, capable enough, and really just a solid hockey player that you couldn't put good players with, and maybe you get something. And Elias Salamonson has just been really great. With a Manitoba team that kind of struggled to score, he did have points on 21% of the goals on average that Manitoba scored this season, which for a defenseman is really darn good. So a really impressive player that I think could just eat some minutes and work out to be another one of these guys who shows up on Winnipeg's roster and just plays NHL hockey perfectly fine. And I think that that's valuable, and where they got him in the draft, that's a win. Sasha Boumedienne is also in here. I think this is a little bit of an optimistic look on him because I think the upside is really high, but the floor is really low, but I really believe in what he brings to the table, and he was a really interesting bet for them to bet on, but he does seem right up their alley, honestly, based on what I've seen. And then there's a lot of really good players in the maybes category here. Honestly, there's a lot of guys that, while they might score a lot, guys like Kevin He and Kieran Walton, and I love these players, I'm still curious about their NHL upside and their likelihood of consistent NHL results. We will see, but these are guys that really pushed the limit of this tier for me. Colby Barlow is in here. He was a depth player last year, and frankly, I just was kind of disappointed in his game this past season whenever I saw Oshawa. He did have a great playoff, and I just feel like with Barlow, he's a finishing first type player, and I would really want to see some more physical intensity out of him than what he shows, a little bit more of a playmaker's streak, which I think has improved over the last little while. I just have never really known exactly what he's going to be in the NHL, but I guess a bottom 6 guy that plays a physical role and maybe a power play option on the wing or something, mucking it up in front. I just am a little bit of a skeptic, and based on last season, I just didn't see that high-end OHL dominance a mid-first round pick should probably have at this point, considering his age, but he's going to the AHL. I expect him to be perfectly fine there, and we'll see where things go. The other guy I wanted to talk about here too was Nikita Chibrikov, and Chibrikov did crack the NHL here and there, and I thought he looked pretty good there, and I think he's really pushing the limits of this tier, but he is a little further along in the age category. He wasn't incredible in the AHL last year. I think that another year of really good results, similar to a guy like he and Walton, could move him up a higher tier than this. These guys really ride the line for me. And the rest of the group, guys like Owen Martin and Victor Klingselj, even Marcus Lopunen, I think people are sleeping on a little bit. Lopunen was a player that didn't score a ton last year, but whenever I watched Victoria, he just looked really skilled, really dynamic, and while the 200-foot game isn't necessarily always there from him, he still is a really fun player to watch, and I'll be very curious to see how he does this coming season. Klingselj, huge upside, I just am not sure he's going to get there. Owen Martin, love how he plays, I'm just not really sure he's going to get there. Same thing can be said about Edison Engel. At his best, I thought there was something there that I really liked, and again, I'm not surprised that a team like Winnipeg took a chance on him where they did, and time will tell where he goes from here, but another interesting player. The last name I wanted to talk about in the maybes category here is one that actually really impressed me, and I saw him a lot this year, and that's Jacob Julien. Julien is a player who I don't really know is going to score a ton, but I also was surprised he didn't score more with the London Knights this year. He's big and a wonderful skater for a player that big. He's got a physical edge to him, and he plays the exact style of play that I would want out of a depth center in the NHL. I don't think he's going to be amazing, but I do think there's a chance that he sort of pops up and cracks the roster, and there might be some guys here where I don't really see them really hitting a floor of a fourth or third line NHL player and being okay there, but Jacob Julien I think has that floor, and we'll see where he goes from here, but he's an interesting one. So we rate teams based on where they pick in the draft and the concentration of the types of players that they've had, and I think the Winnipeg Jets, pound for pound, might be one of the best drafting teams in the league. Considering this is a team with continuous NHL success, I'm giving them a 1C. I have really liked how they've drafted. I love Alphonse Frey to death. I love Brad Lambert to death. I've really come to like Elias Salomonson, especially having seen him since he was 16. I love Kevin He. I love Kieran Walton. I'm really curious about Marcus Lopunen. Jacob Julien had a good season, and I'm curious what he can do. They took some good swings this year on Owen Martin and Victor Klingselj. Nikita Chibrikov is a lot of fun, and right there, that's like half of their entire system, so that's got to count for something. If I'm a Winnipeg Jets fan, I am looking forward to what these guys can do at the next level of hockey that they're playing. I think there's a lot that Winnipeg Jets fans could be very excited about, and I'm hoping for bounce-back seasons from a few of these guys, and if they do, the Jets probably will remain pretty decent in the NHL for quite a while. And with that, we're going to call it. If you liked the video, definitely like and subscribe. If you really liked it, definitely consider a subscription over at Scouching.ca, where you can get access to all kinds of fun data tools and our Discord server, and plenty of other fun stuff that you're just not going to find anywhere else on the internet. So check that out at Scouching.ca. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.